This week on the Digital Coffee, Twitter has finally launched Circles. Or should that be Circle? And what is that anyway? YouTube is making it easier for you to promote your videos, and Meta is launching a customer service wing. Finally! All that and more after this. Good morning, and welcome to the Digital Coffee. This is your weekly dose of digital marketing and social media news for small business. My name is Amanda Webb, and I am an ROI mentor and consultant. What does that mean? That means that I can help businesses just like yours get more return on investment from the time, the effort, and the energy that you spend online. That means more profit, more money. But enough about me. I'm laughing at the beginning of this show because you may have seen a little bit of stuff gone wrong right at the beginning of the show. And that was because suddenly Ecamm decided it didn't want to connect to Restream. So thank you for hanging in there. A big welcome to you all. Let me know where you're watching. Whether Facebook has bothered to tell you that I'm live this week, I would love to know. So do tell me if you're on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, hello. And if you're watching on LinkedIn, a massive hello to you as well. I am grasping my cup. If this is your first time joining me, you may not realise that I am grasping my mug. It is empty. It is empty because I'm not allowed to drink coffee because I talk too fast. Yes, I do. I'd love to know what's in your mug. What is it that you've got there? I can see we have, YouTube is working at least. Good, steady old YouTube. Good morning to May King. Wood barrel whiskey smoked Japanese black tea. Now that's more like it, May King. All this water has not been good. I am delighted to hear you. That sounds absolutely delicious. I kind of want some right away. And a big wave to Simon Hodgkins. Thank you so much for joining me. So if you're on LinkedIn or if you're on Facebook, do give me a shout out as well, just to reassure me that those platforms are actually working, because we've had a few issues there. But hopefully my technical issues for the day are totally over. One thing to say is that if you're around at 10:30 a.m, at 10:30 a.m, if you pop over to Twitter, you can join myself and May King to discuss these topics in more detail. We run a Twitter space, which is like an audio room. So you can come in, you can just listen into the conversation, or you can ask to join the conversation if you've got something you want to say about the topics that we cover. If you want to join that, come into Twitter. My Twitter account is @spiderworking, and you can either listen in, and you'll find a pinned tweet, at the top, where you can either listen in on desktop, or you can listen in and participate if you want to on mobile. I can see Simon is drinking hot chocolate. Woohoo! I'm going to Paris soon. I think they have hot chocolate for breakfast in Paris. Do correct me if I'm wrong, but I am intending on having some hot chocolate for breakfast in Paris, even if it's not a thing there. Definitely going to do it.
Hello, this is Nicole from Wonderstars, and you are watching Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
What if you want to tweet about more than one topic on Twitter? So maybe you want to tweet about marketing and cats, or maybe you want to tweet about marketing and cats and Doctor Who. So what if you've got all those things that you want to tweet about, but actually, when you start tweeting about cats, your marketing audience isn't interested. That seemed like that was going to be the beauty of Twitter. So Twitter circles. And Twitter circles are now here. Unfortunately, you can only set up one circle. So actually what this is like a private list of people that you tweet specific content to. So only the people in that circle will be able to see that content. A bit like close friends on Instagram. You can only have one circle at the moment. So all my plans of having a cat circle and a Doctor Who circle, completely gone. But still, I think it's good. In this one circle, you can have up to 150 people. They can be anyone. They can even be people that don't follow you. So if you're doing a bit of celebrity stalking and there's somebody specific that you would like to see your tweets, They may not see them just because they're in the circle, but you can include them in that circle. So say if you had I was just listening to Black Sabbath. So what if you had a Black Sabbath fan club circle that you tweet Black Sabbath stuff in? You could include, I don't know if Ozzy Osbourne's on Twitter, but if he is, you could include him in that circle. They will be marked so people will know that they're circle tweets and people aren't able to retweet them outside the circle. I think this could be really good. I think this could be really good for businesses. Maybe if you've got different areas of your business that you want to tweet about, maybe you could have a golden customer circle where you could tweet, specific stuff that you think would be interesting to them. Or maybe you've got a specific group of people that are interested in social audio, but it's nothing to do with ROI, which is what you normally tweet about. You could maybe create a circle for social audio, which would be really cool. I can see lots of benefits of this. I just wish there was more than one circle. I wish they were like Google Plus circles used to be, which was where this whole idea originated. So I'm looking forward to seeing this evolve. Just to make a little note, I know they have said today that they are testing the Twitter edit button. Too late for it to make into this show. I just wanted to make a nod to that. We have talked about all the things to do with the Twitter edit button before, but I will be covering it in next week's show. Right, good morning. There is Mark from Pocket Video School on the decaf, probably very healthy. Good morning to Kate, who is drinking tea. Hello, hello, hello. And I can see Simon saying he has his circle set up. It is helpful, but limited. More circles would help. Same with the limited community feature. Yeah, I'm still not convinced about the community feature. I'm not sure how it is benefiting my feed at all. It'd be interesting to see what comes up in circles. I haven't actually added anyone to my circle yet, but it's quite straightforward to do. By the way, if you haven't done it, it's on the left-hand side menu under the hamburger menu, you will see circle, and that's where you can do it. Good morning to Deirdre. I tell you what, YouTube is ruling at the moment. So I can see Kate's on Facebook. If anyone's watching on Facebook or LinkedIn, do let me know. Kate's watching on Facebook, so I know it's working. It is working, right? This is where I go, is this thing on? Is it on? Is it?
Hi, Sasha Lydia from Think Outside the Bot, and you're watching the Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Growing your YouTube channel is difficult. It is hard to grow subscribers, to grow views. There's a lot of work that goes into it. As somebody that spent most of last year trying to do that, I can tell you it's a lot of work to actually do that. One way that you could get more subscribers and more views is to promote your videos. So actually, just like an ad, you can go into Google's ads interface and you can set up a promotion for a video to reach more people, for it to appear in search results, for example. On YouTube, right at the top, you'll see there's some kind of sponsored or some ads. It is a good way to actually make sure you're reaching people. Of course, your content still needs to be good and compelling if people are going to subscribe, but YouTube are going to make this easier. They're testing something at the moment they're calling the promotions tab. You'll see this within your YouTube studio if it's being tested on you currently. And it's going to be a much easier way for you to promote videos. You'll no longer have to go to the Google Ads interface. You will be able to do it all from within that YouTube studio. It's not quite boost post yet, but by making it easier for people to do, they're going to get more ads. They're going to get more people spending money on YouTube advertising, people dipping their toe in the water of YouTube advertising that maybe haven't already, or maybe sweeping up some of those people that are coming from Facebook ads not working for them. So obviously it's good for them. It's good for you because it means your video will get in front of more people. Like I say, the quality of the video is going to matter whether it works or not. I also think this is just a stepping stone. I do think we are going to see the equivalent of boost posts, a promote button on videos in the future. But for now, I think this will be a welcome step for small businesses. Does that mean we're going to start seeing more ads in those spaces on YouTube, in the search results, in other places on YouTube? Could I bear any more ads on YouTube? That is the question. I can see Simon mentioning the Twitter edit button. It's testing. Yes. Thankfully, hopefully we live in the hope of an edit button. The problem is at the moment, they're only rolling it out to Twitter Blue subscribers. I'm probably going to be talking about this more than I intended to. We can't get Twitter Blue. We can't get it in Ireland. You can't get it in the UK. It's only in America. So great, Americans can edit their Twitter tweets who pay. The rest of us won't be able to, which is a bit of a downer, really.
This is Making Sang, first name making from the FOMO Creator, and you have been watching the Digital Coffee Show with Amanda Webb.
Now imagine if you got your Instagram account or your Facebook account taken away by Facebook. Not hacked, because I know a lot of people are losing their accounts that way, but actually the Facebook AI, the robot overlord that runs Facebook AI, has decided for some reason, non-explicable reason, that your Instagram account or your Facebook account are breaking the rules. So they take it away. This has been happening to a lot of people. And when you appeal, you just get more robot overlord. You don't get a human being who goes, I can see what's happened here. Sorry about that. It's just the robot. In fact, it's happening to so many people. I'm seeing it pop up on consumer shows. I saw it on the Watchdog segment of the One show there recently. Or was it Rip Off Britain? I don't really watch all those consumer shows, do I? It's so prevalent. So what are Facebook going to do about it? Well, surprisingly, they're talking about launching a customer service division, something we have wanted for so long. How many people have I ever had that have said, I got a phone number for Facebook? No, sorry, they don't do that. Customer service from Facebook could be coming specifically for this issue, for the robot overlords accidentally deleting accounts. This is fantastic news. If they launch it for that, we can see that this is going to spread and a lot of other issues are going to be able to be resolved in the future. I suppose the question is that customer service going to be any good, or is it just going to be like when you finally manage to get a customer service agent on messenger chat when they don't really know the answers to the questions? I think, Facebook has a huge amount of work to address the real issues that people have with Facebook and Instagram. And that's probably why they're going to tackle the robot overlord problem first. Good morning. I can see, right, Facebook is working. Still not sure about YouTube. The comments are coming in thick and fast. I can see we have people on Facebook. Good morning to Lisa. Great to hear. You can get Twitter Blue in Australia. Well, now you are lucky. You'll be able to get the Twitter edit button. I want it because I make so many ridiculous typos that somehow I never seem to notice until the tweet has gone out, usually when I'm typing from my phone. Good morning to Catherine. Great to see you here, and happy Friday to you as well. Lisa, on the Facebook and Instagram thing, it's ridiculous the amount of accounts that the robot overlord thing, I added robot overlord. I just like that phrase, in case you hadn't noticed, is happening too. I have access to Facebook chat and a real person, but even then they can't help. And that's the thing, that Facebook chat thing is pretty useless. You're all excited, you got a human, and they do nothing. And the problem can also be that you have been locked out of your entire account because the robot overlord has decided that you're going to be locked out of your account. So you can't get to the chat because you had to be logged into your account. It's one of those ridiculous things. And here it is, Mark, to say that LinkedIn works. Thank you. And to Simon, thank you. You're a bit nervous about the edit function. So many prats will use it to reverse history. Well, the thing is, it is still going to have the history of that tweet. You won't be able to delete the original tweet. There will be the historical version of that tweet there as well. So basically, and apparently it's only, I can't believe I'm talking about this so much when I said I wasn't going to talk about it. You'll only be able to do it within half an hour as well as the original tweet. So you won't be able to go and get something that you tweeted 10 years ago and change it. We already have that edit function on LinkedIn and Facebook, and so it will be able to work on Twitter. I think the concern there is that Twitter is used a lot more by politicians for things like historic tweets, like Simon mentioned. So there is that worry that a certain man with bad hair may go and edit his tweets, but actually that can't happen. One, I think he's still banned, and two, because they're historic. great to hear that. Stops people pretending they never said it. Well, there is that, yes. Or you could just delete your old tweets, which is possibly something you can do. See, now LinkedIn is here. LinkedIn is properly here. Thank you. Great to see you, Owen. Meta customer service. You're not holding your breath. Well, apparently it's going to happen. I say it's going to take a little bit of time because they have nothing. They don't have a good system in place yet. So, Catherine says she keeps getting notifications that my Facebook sign-in attempts from a Samsung phone. I'm not clicking on that link. Yeah, you know, that's probably a hacker. Just do. This is just for everyone out there. Please, please, please. There's a robot overlord problem, which is the AI from Facebook, but there's also a hacker problem. Please, please, please. Use a complicated password. Use a password service if you have to, and use two-factor authentication. Really, it's just, you don't want to go, oh, I never got round to that, and your account gets hacked, because you're never getting that back either. So, it's sad. It's sad. And it's terrible as well from all that time you will have spent building your audience. It's kind of distressing.
Hi, I'm Danielle from Webb, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Now, the problem with Twitter links, or links on any social channel, actually, talking about it, is they kind of look boring. They look boring. They're easy to scroll by. You go, ugh, that's a link. I don't want to click that. And maybe because they're so samey, when we see, firstly, there is the fact that the algorithm doesn't show them to you so much. We'll talk about that again later. That's part of the problem. But the other problem is just that they don't look enticing. And this is something that Twitter is attempting to fix. They've launched something this week called Twitter Tiles. They're just experimenting with a few publishers at the moment. And this is a new way to display your links. Now, at the moment, it's unclear, is this going to be rolled out for all Twitter users, or are they just giving it to a select number of publishers? At the moment, it is just 3 or 4 publishers they're testing it on. But it will make your links look way nicer. So here's 2 of the places they're testing it. They're testing it with The Guardian. And you can see with the Guardian link here, it's a lot larger, which means it's going to take a lot longer to scroll past on the feed. And there's a nice big chunky call to action button, a customized call to action button at the bottom. So that's a nice big chunky one. So much better than your regular link looks. But on the New York Times, oh, look at this. Look, doesn't that look fancy? Very fancy. So, again, it's much bigger. It's going to be harder for you to scroll by. The image has prominence, much as if you were posting the image instead of the link to the tweet. You've got the headline really popping at the top and the link symbol there, so everyone knows it's a link. And what I like about this, that's just 2 styles. There's going to be way more that you'll be able to do with these Twitter tiles. It means there isn't kind of like that boring standardization of a link on Twitter anymore. It will all look very dynamic, very different, very attractive, and way more clickable. And of course, our job as digital marketers is to get people to visit a website and maybe do their purchasing or their inquiries on the website. So something like this could only encourage more of that sort of thing, which is why it's kind of odd. Because we know in the past, social networks have tried really hard to keep people on site rather than sending them off. So I wonder how this works. I hope they're going to give it to everyone, not just like newspapers, because I can see this working exceptionally well for businesses. There's Simon. The uneven rollout of services is frustrating to many. More testing outside of the US would help. Well, The Guardian, that's the UK. Of course it is. Yes, it is very frustrating, but I don't think they can push a product out to everyone all the time. I'm not trying to defend them here. It would be nice if they kind of like gave us some stuff occasionally. Facebook did roll out, for example, reactions to Ireland first. It would be nice to see more of that sort of thing. Go on, test it on us, Twitter. Test it on us.
I'm Ant McGinley, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
I get excited when Facebook launch their most viewed, widely viewed content report. They do this every quarter, and in it they list the top 20 pieces of content for views in the United States. Yeah, I know it's the United States, but it still has some interest and relevance and can help us understand how the algorithm works. It doesn't just show us those 20 pieces of content though, it shows us some other statistics, and I found this very interesting. So the first one I've got, and I know I need to shuffled the wrong way so that you're able to see it, is link posts. Now, link posts don't get shown to as many people on Facebook. We know that. But what's really interesting here is the breakdown. So here, for example, you can see that if you are seeing a post from a friend, a personal account, you're way more likely to see any other type of post that they put up than a link. There's a very small percentage of the posts that you'll see from them that are a link, even though that's the majority of the content you're going to see is from your friends. If it's a link, less so. But if you scroll across a couple to Facebook pages, even though you're going to see far fewer posts from Facebook pages in your feed, there's a stronger possibility that that post is going to be a link. So if you're managing a Facebook page and going, oh no, I don't want to post a link because it'll get no reach, actually, it's the best place to put a link rather than anywhere else. Particularly Facebook groups, because look at that. You are basically seeing no links from Facebook groups in your feed. So for all those people that do sneaky things to get the link in the comment or whatever, that is where you need to do it if you're using it in groups. It's absolutely pointless to post a link in a group. Which brings me then to the second piece of data that I found from them, which is coming in here. And as you can see here, you can see that this is the breakdown of what you see in the feed. So that big blue section is posts that you see from friends. The red section is posts from groups. So that, it looks to me like that has declined significantly. So all of you that have been running groups and thinking, yeah, the reach of my group is down. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It looks like it's being pulled right back. In fact, it's bigger than, but it's almost comparable to pages, which is that orange section there. So it's no longer a case of that magical reach that you're going to get from groups. Actually, particularly if you're posting links, stick with your page. Just need to make sure I'm clicking the right button. So I said I'd tell you about the 20 top pieces of content as well. So this will really help us understand what is working on Facebook right now. So here's what's interesting. 14 out of the 20 posts that we could see, because a few of them had to be taken down for policy violation, robot overlord, 14 were vertical video content, short vertical video content mostly. Some of them did go on a little bit longer. And the other thing that they had in common was that they were either sentimental, humorous, or they evoked some emotion. So if you want to get seen on Facebook right now, this year, this quarter, vertical video content that taps into people's emotions is what is going to work for you. Easier said than done, right? It's not that simple fix that we've had in the past. I can see a few algorithm magic and mystery again. Yes, stats are all the US. Yes, that's what I said at the beginning. It is just the US at the moment. But to be honest, I think that's going to be a pretty good indication of what's happening, at least in English speaking countries. I don't think we're going to see that much disparity between it, but it is interesting to read for sure.
Hey, I'm Christine Gritman, and you are watching The Digital Coffee with social media superstar Amanda Webb.
Have you switched? Tell me, have you switched to a Twitter professional profile? You know, I've gone in to do it a few times, and every time I go in, I go, ugh. That's a lot of work. I'm going to have to come down, think about that and come back later. So I've actually not got round to switching. And also, you know, there's not really enough incentive to switch. It's not like when Instagram kind of tempted me in with their amazing analytics. They're not amazing, but analytics at least. there didn't actually seem to be a reason to do this. But Twitter are adding some new features here, and this one is very Facebooky. Now, this is just a rumor at the moment. It's, well, a rumor. It is a back-end thing. It was spotted by, I have to look up his name, app researcher Nima Oji. Hope I'm saying that right. But it looks like they're going to make it a lot more Insta-Facebooky, meta. They're going to make it meta, except meta means, I hate that they called it meta. Can I just say that again? They're going to make it more Facebook Instagram-y, which means that now when you post a link, you will actually be able to choose a specific call to action button, like book a call or make a reservation or get directions. So you will be able to customize that button, which I think would be a big thing. Not as big a thing as giving me analytics, better analytics, because Twitter analytics are extremely poor, in my opinion. So interesting. I will definitely go and think about setting up my professional profile over there again. There are other features that you can have that are exclusive to professional profiles as well, and we know they're going to be rolling out more in the future. So maybe now is a good time to get in there.
Hi, I'm Charlie Lawrence and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Now, you know what's frustrating? Daria, on LinkedIn, you cannot schedule from the platform at all. And you can schedule using third-party tools, but because they don't give access to the API, there's certain things that you can't do. So for example, you can't schedule a video to your personal profile. You can't schedule carousels at all. You can't schedule polls, you know, and I'm sure of those new layout things, I don't have them yet. I'm sure you can't schedule those either. Which is kind of annoying. It's kind of annoying. I don't schedule way ahead on LinkedIn. Most of the stuff I put up is there and ready to go. But it does mean like at weekends, even though I'm going to check in on LinkedIn, I don't want to like start up my computer to go and post a thing. So I tend to schedule that content through a third party tool. And that means I can't schedule polls and I can't schedule carousels. I can't schedule anything that tags someone, which is something else that's really annoying. So those weekend posts, I have to like think about the types of content that go out there. But good news, same app developer, whose name I need to look up again, I will get used to saying it, or app researcher, whose name is Nima Oji, has spotted that LinkedIn seems to be working on a scheduling tool. Now, I don't want to take credit for this, but I said, this is coming, because when they started allowing us to save drafts of our posts, which you can do on mobile, I said, well, the next thing is obviously going to be scheduling posts from there. So this is really good news. I'm looking forward to being able to schedule things like video posts, like carousels, to the platform, and this will be directly on the platform. It won't be through a third-party tool at the moment. Thank you, LinkedIn. This will do me the world of good. I can see we've got a question. Any reason for not to move over to a professional profile on Twitter? That's a really good question. I imagine in the future we could see a decline in reach, but that hasn't really happened on Instagram, and Instagram business profiles have been around a long time. As far as I can see, there doesn't seem to be a difference between a personal and a business account. So I don't see any reason not to move over to a professional account. You get the features. It's better for a business account. I do think in the future, like Twitter circles are kind of the beginning of it. They are going to want us to have like one Twitter account to rule them all. And on that Twitter account, you will be able to have your various circles and your various identities, which is something they've hinted at doing in the future. So I'm not sure how that will gel with the professional account. We'll have to see. I mean, we have to see if Twitter will even be around after all this Elon Musk trouble. Fingers crossed, because I love Twitter. Fantastic news regarding LinkedIn scheduling, isn't it just? Because that not being able to tag people in a scheduled post is, if I'm sharing a link to somebody's post, I want them to know I've shared a link to their post and I can't tag them. That frustrates me quite a bit. So I am looking forward to seeing that rolled out. And hello also to Paul. Hey, Paul. That is it for this week's Digital Coffee. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for all the people who did come to LinkedIn to say hello, as well as you left YouTube and came to LinkedIn, but still lovely to see you here. And to the few people that are on Facebook as well, it's great to see you and some new faces this week. So thanks so much. I am here every Friday for the Digital Coffee. I will be back next week, but don't forget at 10:30 a.m. come over to Twitter, because that's where it's all happening. Myself and Making Sang will be discussing these topics in more detail, and you can come in and have your say. You'll see a pinned tweet on my Twitter account at Spiderworking. And that is it for this week. I will be back, same bat time, same bat place next week. Until then, bye-bye.